In the quiet hush of a Tokyo evening, where the cherry blossoms sway like silent sentinels under a moonlit sky, a story begins to unfold, a tale as old as the Edo period itself, whispered through the ages like a secret shared among the stars. Welcome, dear listener, to a journey through time, where beauty wore a mask of shadow, and elegance was forged in the crucible of tradition. This is the story of blackened teeth, a beauty standard that once defined the noble women of Japan, a ritual as captivating as it is haunting. Settle into the soft embrace of your chair, let the day's worries dissolve, and allow my voice to guide you into the heart of Edo, Japan, where history dances with mystery. Imagine, if you will, the year 1700, a time when the Tokugawa shogunate ruled with an iron hand, and the land of the rising sun shimmered with a blend of serenity and strict order. The cities buzzed with life, samurai strode with purpose, merchants haggled in vibrant markets, and geishas glided through tea houses like ethereal spirits. Yet, amid this tapestry of tradition, a peculiar custom emerged, one that set the elite apart from the common folk: the art of ohaguro, the blackening of teeth. To the Western eye, it might seem a curiosity, even a shock. But to the women of Edo, Japan, it was the pinnacle of grace, a badge of honor worn with pride. Our story begins with Eiko, a young woman of noble birth. Her family, a respected lineage of court officials in Kyoto. At the tender age of 16, Eiko stood on the cusp of womanhood, her life a delicate balance of duty and dreams. Her skin was pale as porcelain, her hair a cascade of ebony silk, and her eyes sparkled with the promise of a future yet unwritten. But in the world she inhabited, beauty was not merely a gift of nature, it was a craft, a ritual passed down through generations. And for Eiko, that ritual would soon demand her teeth be transformed into a dark, gleaming testament to her status. The practice of ohaguro traced its roots to the Heian period, centuries before, when blackened teeth were a symbol of maturity and marriage. By the Edo era, it had evolved into a mark of the aristocracy, a sign that a woman belonged to the upper echelons of society. The process was meticulous, almost sacred. Women like Eiko would sit for hours, surrounded by the scent of incense and the soft rustle of silk, as a mixture of iron filings, vinegar, and sometimes tannin-rich tea or sake was prepared. This concoction, when applied to the teeth, reacted with saliva to create a deep, lustrous black, a color so striking it rivaled the midnight sky. But why black? In a culture where purity and light often held sway, the choice of darkness might seem paradoxical. Yet, to the Edo mind, black was the color of strength, of resilience, of a beauty that endured. It contrasted beautifully with the pale faces and red lips of the noble women, creating a harmony that was both striking and serene. For Eiko, this transformation was not just cosmetic, it was a rite of passage, a moment when she would step into the role of a refined lady, her blackened teeth a silent proclamation of her family's prestige. As the day of her ceremony approached, Eiko's heart fluttered with a mix of anticipation and unease. She had heard the tales from her mother, Lady Kiyomi, who spoke of the process with a wistful smile. "It is our heritage," Kiyomi would say, her own teeth a polished obsidian gleam. "It marks you as one of us, a guardian of our traditions." Yet, Eiko couldn't shake the whispers of discomfort, the sting of the mixture, the days of sensitivity that followed. Still, she trusted in the wisdom of her elders, in the beauty that lay beyond the pain. The chamber was prepared with care, its tatami mats soft underfoot, its shoji screens filtering the golden light of late afternoon. Eiko knelt before a low table, her kimono a swirl of crimson and gold, her hands trembling slightly as her mother and an attendant began the ritual. The mixture was brushed onto her teeth with a delicate tool, its metallic tang filling her mouth. At first, there was a sharp bite, a sensation that made her wince, but she steadied herself, focusing on the gentle hum of her mother's voice, a lullaby from her childhood. Over the next few days, the black would deepen, a transformation as profound as it was permanent. This history story is more than a tale of vanity, it's a window into a world where beauty was a language, spoken through symbols and sacrifice. For Eiko, the blackened teeth were a bridge to her ancestors, a connection to the women who had come before her. As you listen, let the image of that dimly lit room linger, the flicker of candlelight, the rustle of silk, the quiet strength of a young woman embracing her destiny. This is just the beginning, prologue to a journey that will reveal the depths of Edo elegance. So, close your eyes, breathe deeply, And let the shadows of this story envelop you as we move forward. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across Kyoto's tiled roofs, Aiko's transformation took hold. Her teeth, now a deep, glossy black, gleamed with an otherworldly luster, a stark contrast to the ivory of her skin. This was no mere cosmetic choice, it was an alchemy, a blending of nature and culture that defined the women of Edo, Japan. Welcome back to our history story, where the art of ohaguro unfolds like a delicate scroll, revealing layers of tradition, resilience, and beauty. Let the rhythm of my words guide you deeper into this world, a sanctuary of calm as you prepare for rest. The process of blackening teeth was as much a science as it was a ceremony. The key ingredient, iron acetate, was created by dissolving iron filings in vinegar or a fermented solution, often enhanced with tannins from tea or sake. This mixture was applied daily, sometimes for weeks, until the desired shade was achieved, a black so rich it seemed to absorb the light around it. For Eiko, the ritual was a daily meditation, a moment of stillness amid the bustling life of her household. Each morning, she would sit by the garden window, the scent of plum blossoms drifting in. As her attendant brushed the solution onto her teeth with a practiced hand, the science behind ohaguro was rudimentary, but effective. The iron reacted with the tannins and the natural acids in saliva, forming a dark stain that bonded with the enamel. Over time, this stain became permanent, a mark that could not be undone. For the women of the aristocracy, this permanence was part of the appeal. It signified a lifelong commitment to their status, a beauty that weathered the years. Aiko's mother, Lady Kilmi, often spoke of this endurance, her voice soft as she recounted the women of her youth, their blackened teeth a badge of honor through childbirth, illness, and age. Yet, the process was not without its challenges. The initial application brought a sharp, metallic taste, a sensation that lingered for hours. Aiko's gums ached in the days that followed, a dull throb that reminded her of the sacrifice involved. The mixture could also irritate sensitive mouths, causing temporary discomfort or even slight swelling. But these were seen as rites of passage, proof of a woman's dedication to the ideal. In a society where pain was often a companion to beauty, think of the bound feet of China or the corsets of Europe. Ohaguro was a uniquely Japanese expression of this philosophy. Beyond the physical, the ritual held a deeper meaning. Blackened teeth were a signal of marriage, a public declaration that a woman was spoken for, her beauty reserved for her husband and family. And married women, by contrast, kept their natural teeth, their whiteness a sign of availability. For Aiko, this custom added a layer of intrigue to her coming of age. As her teeth darkened, suitors began to take notice, their eyes lingering on her transformed smile during the formal tea ceremonies that marked her debut into society. Her blackened teeth were a magnet, drawing admiration and whispers of her family's wealth. The cultural significance of ohaguro extended beyond marriage. In the Edo period, pale skin and dark features were the height of fashion, a contrast that mirrored the yin-yang balance of Japanese philosophy. Blackened teeth complemented this aesthetic, enhancing the red lipstick and powdered faces of noblewomen, artists of the time. Like the ukiyo-e masters, often depicted geishas and ladies of the court with this striking feature, their smiles a focal point of beauty in woodblock prints that survive to this day. For Aiko, each glance in the mirror revealed a new facet of herself, a woman shaped by tradition, her identity etched in black. This history story invites us to ponder the lengths to which beauty can define us. In Edo, Japan, ohaguro was more than a trend, it was a statement, a rebellion against the natural order in favor of a crafted ideal. As Aiko adjusted to her new appearance, she found a quiet pride in the ritual, a connection to the women who had walked this path before her. The discomfort faded, replaced by a sense of belonging, a feeling that warmed her as she moved through the grand halls of her family's estate. Let the image settle in your mind. Aiko standing by a koi pond, her kimono rustling in the breeze, her blackened teeth catching the light as she smiles at her reflection. The world outside may judge, may marvel, but within these walls, she is a vision of elegance. This is just the beginning of her journey, a chapter that will lead us into the heart of her story. So, let your breath slow, let the night embrace you, and follow me as we delve deeper into the shadows of Edo beauty. As the seasons turned, Aiko's life blossomed under the weight of her blackened teeth. The streets of Kyoto hummed with the rhythm of daily life, but within the noble quarters, her presence turned heads, her smile a silent symphony of status. This history story now shifts to the mirror of society, where ohaguro reflected not just individual beauty but the intricate dance of class, gender, and power in Edo, Japan. Let my voice wrap around you like a warm blanket, guiding you through this tale as the world outside fades into stillness. Aiko's debut into society was a spectacle. A carefully choreographed event that showcased her family's prestige. The tea ceremony, held in the family's sprawling garden, was attended by Kyoto's elite samurai lords, merchant magnates, and their elegantly attired wives. Aiko moved with grace, her kimono a cascade of indigo and silver, her blackened teeth a beacon of her lineage. The guests murmured in approval, their eyes tracing the dark gleam of her smile. To them, ohaguro was a seal of authenticity, a proof that she belonged to the upper crust, far removed from the peasant women with their natural and painted teeth. The social hierarchy of Edo, Japan was rigid, a structure upheld by customs like ohaguro. The practice was a privilege reserved for the wealthy, who could afford the time, resources, and expertise to maintain it. Commoners, bound by labor and survival, had neither the luxury nor the inclination to blacken their teeth. This exclusivity made ohaguro a marker of distinction, a visual cue that separated the noble from the humble. For Aiko, this distinction came with pressure. Her every appearance was a performance, her blackened teeth a testament to her family's honor. Yet, this beauty standard was not without its critics. Some samurai wives, bound by the same tradition, whispered of its inconvenience. The daily application required patience. The mixture's taste a constant reminder of the effort involved. Others envied the look, seeing it as a symbol of freedom from the toil that marked their own lives. Aiko overheard these conversations during quiet moments, her mother's voice rising above the rest. "It is our burden and our pride. To bear is to carry our history." These words shaped Aiko's perspective, turning her initial unease into a quiet resolve. The ritual's permanence added another layer to this history story. Once blackened, teeth could not be restored to their natural state, a commitment that mirrored the lifelong duties of a noblewoman. Marriage, motherhood, and the management of a household all were etched into that dark stain. Aiko's betrothal to Hiroshi, a young samurai of rising influence, cemented this reality. Their engagement ceremony was a lavish affair, with Aiko's blackened teeth drawing praise from Hiroshi's family. "She is a true lady of Edo," his mother declared, her own teeth mirroring Aiko's. The union was not just personal, it was a merging of legacies, sealed by the shared ritual. But beauty, as Aiko soon learned, was a double-edged sword. The blackened teeth, while admired, also invited scrutiny. Rivals at court speculated about the process. Did it hurt? Was it worth the cost? These questions lingered in the air, and spoken but palpable. Aiko found solace in her private moments, sitting by the koi pond with her journal, penning her thoughts. "My teeth are my crown," she wrote, "yet they weigh heavy with the expectations of others." This introspection deepened her character, transforming her from a passive participant into a woman who embraced her role with dignity. The cultural ripple of ohaguro extended beyond the aristocracy. Geishas, though not of noble birth, adopted the practice to enhance their allure, their blackened teeth adding a layer of mystique to their performances. Ukiyo-e prints captured this trend, immortalizing women with dark smiles against the vibrant backdrop of Edo nightlife. For Aiko, these images were a reminder of her place in a larger narrative, a thread in the fabric of Japanese beauty. As you listen, picture Aiko at that tea ceremony, her blackened teeth catching the lantern light, her posture poised yet vulnerable. The world around her is a blur of silk and ceremony, but her mind is a whirl of pride and doubt. This history story is a mirror, reflecting the tensions of a society where beauty was both a gift and a burden. Let the image linger as we move forward, exploring the personal cost of this elegant tradition. Breathe deeply, let the night cradle you, and follow me into the next chapter, with the seasons painting Kyoto in hues of autumn gold. Aiko's life as a married woman began, her blackened teeth now a permanent emblem of her new role. Yet, beneath the surface of elegance lay a cost, a shadow that crept into her days and nights. This history story now delves into the personal toll of ohaguro, a tale of sacrifice and resilience that echoes through the quiet halls of her home. Let my voice flow like a gentle stream, carrying you into this intimate chapter as the world beyond your window fades. Marriage to Hiroshi brought Aiko into a larger household, a sprawling estate where tradition reigned supreme. Her days were filled with the duties of a samurai wife, overseeing servants, hosting guests, and maintaining the family's reputation. Her blackened teeth were a constant companion, admired by visitors yet a reminder of the ritual's demands. The daily application continued, a ritual that required precision and patience. Each morning, she sat before a polished bronze mirror, her attendant applying the iron vinegar mixture with a soft brush. The metallic taste lingered, a bitter undercurrent to her refined existence. The physical cost was subtle but persistent. The initial discomfort had faded, but Eiko noticed a sensitivity in her teeth, a faint ache when she sipped hot tea or bit into a persimmon. Her gums, once pink and healthy, bore a slight discoloration, a side effect of the tannin-rich solution. These changes were minor, yet they gnawed at her confidence. Hiroshi, ever the stoic samurai, reassured her with a gentle smile. His own family's women bearing the same marks. "It is our way," he said, his voice a steady anchor. But Eiko couldn't help wondering about the long-term price of this beauty. Historical records suggest that ohaguro, while not inherently toxic, could pose risks over time. The iron and vinegar mixture, if improperly balanced, might erode enamel or irritate gums, leading to dental issues. For some women, the practice contributed to tooth decay or discoloration beyond the intended black. Aiko's mother, Lady Kilme, had once confided in her about a distant cousin whose teeth had weakened with age, a rare but cautionary tale. This history story reveals a truth often overlooked: beauty, even in its most revered forms, carried a shadow of vulnerability. The emotional toll was equally profound. Aiko's blackened teeth, once a source of pride, began to feel like a chain. At social gatherings, she caught the occasional sit-along glance from younger women, those who had eschewed the practice in favor of natural smiles. The Meiji Restoration loomed on the horizon, a whisper of change that would eventually sweep away ohaguro as Japan opened to the West. Eiko sensed this shift, a tension between the old ways and the new, and it weighed on her spirit. Her journal entries grew introspective, filled with lines like, "My teeth are my heritage, but are they my prison yet?" Resilience defined Aiko's journey. She found strength in the community of women around her: her mother, her sisters-in-law, the geishas who visited the estate. They shared stories of their own experiences, their blackened teeth a bond that transcended rank. One evening, a geisha named Yuki performed a dance, her dark smile a focal point of her grace. Eiko watched, captivated, realizing that ohaguro was more than a custom. It was a narrative, a thread that connected her to a lineage of women who had faced the same challenges with courage. The cost of elegance extended beyond Eiko. The resources required for ohaguro were significant: iron filings, vinegar, and the time of skilled attendants were luxuries not all could afford. This exclusivity reinforced the class divide, a reality that Eiko grappled with as she oversaw her household's budget. Her husband's income as a samurai supported the ritual, but she knew it came at the expense of others less fortunate. This history story invites us to consider the broader implications of beauty standards, the unseen sacrifices that sustain them. As you listen, envision Eiko in her private garden, the koi pond reflecting the twilight sky, her blackened teeth a silent testament to her journey. The ache in her mouth fades into the background, overshadowed by the strength she draws from her heritage. This chapter is a pause, a moment to reflect on the price of tradition. Let the image settle, let your breath slow, and follow me as we explore the twilight of this custom and the changing tides of Japan. As the Meiji era dawned, casting a new light across Japan, the world Eiko knew began to shift. The blackened teeth that had once defined her elegance now stood as relics of a fading past. This history story enters its twilight phase, where tradition clashes with modernity, and Aiko's journey takes a poignant turn. Let my words flow like a gentle breeze, carrying you through this transformative chapter as the night deepens around you. The Meiji Restoration of 1868 marked a turning point, a seismic shift that opened Japan to Western influence and modern ideals. The samurai class dwindled, their privileges stripped away, and with them came a reevaluation of customs like ohaguro. The blackened teeth, once a symbol of nobility, began to be seen as outdated, even barbaric, by those eager to align with European standards of beauty. Eiko, now in her 30s, felt the weight of this change as she moved through a society in flux, her dark smile a bridge between two worlds. The decline of ohaguro was gradual but undeniable. Western missionaries and traders, arriving in droves, brought with them notions of white teeth as a sign of health and sophistication. Photographs from the era, rare and precious, showed Japanese women with natural smiles, a stark contrast to the black-toothed portraits of the Edo past. Aiko's younger cousins, born into this new age, rejected the ritual, their teeth a gleaming white that drew admiration from foreign visitors. She watched this shift with a mix of nostalgia and unease. Her own blackened teeth a reminder of a heritage under threat. Hiroshi, her husband, remained a steadfast supporter of tradition. "Our ways are our strength," he insisted, his own family clinging to the old customs, but even he could not ignore the whispers at court, where younger nobles mocked the practice as a relic. Aiko's social circle shrank, her blackened teeth a barrier to the new elite who favored Western gowns and pearl-white smiles. She found solace in her garden, the koi pond a constant amid the storm of change, her journal a refuge for her thoughts. "My teeth are my history," she wrote, "but they isolate me in this new world." This history story reveals a cultural crossroads. Ohaguro's decline was not just about aesthetics, it was about identity. The Meiji government, eager to modernize, discouraged practices deemed backward, including tooth blackening. By the late 19th century, the custom was largely abandoned, surviving only in rural pockets or among the elderly. Aiko's mother, Lady Kiyomi, passed away during this period. Her blackened teeth a final legacy that Aiko mourned with a heavy heart. The ritual that had united them now felt like a fading echo. Yet Aiko adapted with grace. She learned to navigate the new social landscape, her blackened teeth a conversation piece rather than a stigma. Foreign diplomats, intrigued by her appearance, asked about the custom, and she shared her story with a quiet pride. "It is our past," she told them, "a beauty born of sacrifice." Her husband's career flourished in the modernizing military, and their children born with white teeth embraced the future, leaving Aiko as the last bearer of ohaguro in her line. The twilight of this tradition brought a bittersweet beauty. Aiko's teeth, though worn by time, retained their glossy sheen, a testament to her resilience. She commissioned an artist to paint her portrait, her blackened smile captured in ink and color, a record of a vanishing art. The painting hung in her home, a silent guardian of her history story. As Japan raced toward industrialization, Aiko found peace in the continuity of her past, a thread that connected her to the women who had come before. As you listen, picture Aiko in that portrait, her dark smile a beacon against the shifting tides. The garden around her is quiet, the koi gliding beneath the surface, a mirror to her contemplative spirit. This chapter is a bridge, a moment of transition that invites reflection. Let the image linger, let your breath deepen, and follow me as we reach the final chapter of this tale. As the 20th century crept into Japan, Aiko's life drew to a close, her blackened teeth a fading symbol of a bygone era. This history story reaches its final chapter, where the legacy of ohaguro lingers like a shadow, a whisper of elegance that echoes through time. Let my voice be your guide, a gentle companion as you drift towards sleep, wrapping this tale with a sense of closure and wonder. Aiko lived to see the turn of the century, her health declining with age but her spirit unbroken. Her blackened teeth, now dulled by decades of use, remained a point of pride, a link to the Edo past that her children and grandchildren could scarcely comprehend. The Meiji era had given way to Taisho and then Showa, each bringing new waves of change: electric lights, automobiles, and the influence of Hollywood smiles. Ohaguro, once a cornerstone of beauty, was relegated to history books and the occasional museum exhibit, its practitioners a memory preserved in black and white photographs. Yet, the legacy endured. Aiko's portrait, with its striking depiction of her blackened teeth, became a family heirloom, passed down to her eldest daughter, Hana. Hana, born with a natural smile, marveled at the painting, asking her mother about the custom with wide-eyed curiosity. Aiko shared the story with patience, recounting the rituals, the pain, the pride. "It was our way of shining," she said, her voice a soft melody, a beauty that came from within, not just from the surface. This history story became a bridge between generations, a tale that Hana would one day tell her own children. The cultural impact of ohaguro lingered in unexpected ways. In the arts, it inspired poets and playwrights, who saw in the blackened teeth a metaphor for Japan's resilience, darkness as strength, a beauty forged in adversity. Kabuki theater occasionally revived the look, actors painting their teeth black for historical roles, a nod to the Edo elegance that Aiko had embodied. Even in the West, Where the practice was viewed with fascination or horror, it found a place in literature and film, a quirky footnote in the global story of beauty. Aiko's final years were spent in quiet reflection. Her garden a sanctuary where she tended to her koi and wrote her memoirs. Her teeth, though worn, held a certain dignity, a testament to a life lived with purpose. She documented the process of ohaguro in detail, the ingredients, the application, the social significance, hoping to preserve it for posterity. Her writings, bound in silk, were donated to a local museum after her death, a gift to the future that ensured her history story would not be forgotten. The end came peacefully, with Hannah by her side. Aiko's last words were a whisper, "My teeth are my soul." She passed into the night, her blackened smile a final image etched into her daughter's memory. The funeral was a blend of old and new, traditional Buddhist rites alongside modern condolences, reflecting the duality of her life. Her teeth, buried with her as per custom, became a silent guardian, a symbol of a beauty that had transcended time. Today, ohaguro is a relic, studied by historians and admired by those who seek to understand Japan's past. Museums display the tools of the trade: brushes, jars, and iron filings alongside Aiko's memoirs, a testament to the women who bore this custom. In Kyoto, a small plaque marks the site of her family estate, a nod to the legacy she left behind. This history story invites us to see beauty not as a universal constant, but as a reflection of its time, a mirror that reveals the values, struggles, and dreams of those who came before. As you listen, imagine Aiko's garden at dusk, the koi pond still, the air filled with the scent of late blooming flowers. Her blackened teeth, though gone, live on in the stories we tell, in the shadows that dance across this narrative. This tale is a celebration of resilience, a reminder that beauty is a journey, not a destination. If this history story has touched you, consider sharing your thoughts. Did Aiko's sacrifice resonate with you? Did the elegance of her blackened teeth spark wonder or unease? Thank you for joining me on this voyage through Edo, Japan. If you've enjoyed this tale, give it a like, subscribe to channel name, and ring the bell for more history stories crafted to soothe your soul. Close your eyes now. Let the image of Aiko's smile fade into the night, and drift into a peaceful slumber. Until our next adventure, good night.